All right, jerk-offs, how you doing? Coming to you, it is Daniel Muggleton live from Flight Path Studios, aka the new location I record this podcast in Sydney. Quarantined, self-isolating. It's kind of like Armageddon Day. I mean, like Tom Hanks is in my country. I didn't even know he's in the country. He's in the Gold Coast, which is like the worst part of the country. He's got coronavirus. The NBA got shut down. And then even more devastating, I found out that Tom Hanks has a son called Chet, who's a rapper, who posted like a message clarifying his parents' health while not wearing a shirt. It was very, very strange. Today has been a lot to deal with already, but podcasting, is there a safer form of communication? I think not. I think absolutely not. I can record it in the safety of my own home. You can listen to it in the safety of your own home. It is the most pandemic positive source of entertainment, and it is a pleasure to be bringing you another episode. We're back on form. I got a great guest for you who happened to be in Australia for a hot minute, and I got her on the podcast. Her name is Katharyn Henson. She is an American comedian, lives in New York, based in New York, but about to move to the UK permanently after spending a couple of months there. So a lot to talk to with her. I grew up in Reno, bloody Reno, in the US. A place that I've heard referred to a lot of times, but I just genuinely have no kind of gauge of Reno at all. Just a bit trashy. Like the vibe is there, a bit trashy. Kind of like, I don't want to say like an Essex vibe, but like maybe an Essex vibe. Sorry to my loyal Essex fan base for that. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. Like I got to say, Australia, I think this has been mentioned on the podcast previously, has an NHS-like healthcare system, universal, very efficient. And in these kind of scary times, that's cool. I got to say, like when you're concerned about all that stuff, it is very cool that there's like a healthcare system that is free and is accessible, and we're going to be fine. The one thing I can't understand, but I feel like this is a trend we started, so I have to address it, the toilet paper buying. I don't know if this has traveled to you or wherever you're listening in the world, but we just started buying toilet paper like crazy, and it hasn't stopped. Like, that was the thing. I thought it was like, okay, the people buying toilet paper, they're bogans, they're kind of freaks. Like, I'm not going to encounter this. But, I live in a pretty hip suburb. People walking down the street with loo roll, man, just everywhere. All the toilet paper. I've never seen people so openly carrying toilet paper. Like, it seems like a status symbol now, But that's been fun to watch. My dad went to the movies, and apparently the person sitting next to him had toilet paper in the seat. Just bringing it with them, ready to go at any time. But yeah, it's been interesting. Like this year, I think maybe I get like a very clean read on it because I just moved back to Australia. But this year, man, like the whole country was on fire. That was followed up by flooding. Now there is a global pandemic. I don't think we ever had a pandemic before. I think this is my first pandemic. I don't know if you had a pandemic. Maybe you're old. You're in one of those like pandemics that the anti-vaxxers are trying to bring back. Gotta say, very quiet from them at the moment. It's like the flat earth people. Like as soon as shit got real, everyone's like, the earth is round and we're all gonna die. Like it was a different energy from them. But yeah, just like the toilet paper, I just don't understand. Like, I mean, it's not a diarrhea based thing. I don't think like. In terms of the survival guide, I didn't think that, like, I don't know, like maybe you guys are thinking we take more shits in Australia. Like, I don't believe so. I think I've remained regular throughout my travels, except during the Edinburgh Fringe Festival where you just shit all the time. I think that's probably like the maximum shitting experience, because that's obviously just a combination of Scottish food and alcohol. So, you're taking lots of shits up there, but yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if Australians use toilet paper as facial tissue more than other people, or like maybe we've heard the whole masturbating increases the immune system thing, and we're using toilet paper to clean up. I don't know what's going on. I just know that it's real. It's not just in the kind of meme section. I think generally I have to clarify, if you hear anything about Australia as an outside observer, it's all kind of like this bizarre subsection of the population who I don't interact with on a regular basis. But the toilet paper thing, that is Australia-wide. It makes no sense. I went and bought some supplies today. Some supplies I think quite reasonable, like painkillers and Ventolin inhalers. I have asthma, so you got to be a bit careful with this stuff. And every store I went to, the toilet paper was gone. Not a single thing, not a single roll remained in any store I saw. Even the diapers were gone a lot. And like, I don't know if people are just shitting into them, but you know, this is where we are when the pandemic hits, when things get cancelled, we worry about where we're gonna shit. You know, I think that's a fair concern, a very human concern. But I just wanted you to know from the front line, that is what's happening. I hope you guys are well. I hope everybody in your family is safe. I hope you're safe. I don't know if gigs are going to get cancelled. Like I've got Melbourne Comedy Festival coming up. The festival says it's on, and I'm going as planned. But you know, that may change. Thank you for the jerk-offs who have bought tickets so far. They're still on sale from my website, www.danielmuggleton.com/gigs. And I'm going to wrap up this intro because before I came and spoke to you, I put a tea bag in the mug. I wanted to let it brew for a little bit while I did the intro. And I think I've overcooked it. I don't know, 6.5 minutes? Is that too much brew time? I'm sure people from the UK have very hard opinions on this. But I do have to say, one nice thing being back home, tea bags have string again. I don't know why. I don't know. It's Yorkshire tea. Don't worry. I've been converted. I'm on the good stuff now. I'm on the proper shit. But we got tea bags. We got the string on the tea bag. We can pull it out. We can put it in. It's very versatile. I don't know why the English like their bag in there to be fished out with a fork or a spoon. I don't know what it is, but I just know that I'm glad to be home because I'm burning my fingers less. All right, let's get into this week's episode. Jerk-offs. I'm chatting to Katharyn Henson from the US, found on Instagram at oogirlyouNasty. I think that's a sentence that can only be said with an American accent. Super fun to chat to her. She is at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival as well, so if you enjoy it, book those tickets, don't forget. But jerk-offs, here it is, another episode chatting to America's Katharyn Henson.
Empty room, trumpets are crying, wailing out my doom. I feel like vomiting a great clenched anaconda scream.
You're particularly loud.
I'm just a loud person.
Yeah, I mean, look, definitely loud, but like a soft loud. Is that like a weird observation? Yeah.
I'm
like
a soft loud?
A soft loud. Like, you're
Okay.
definitely loud, but like in no way am I like, oh my God, please get her out of the room.
There's loud, but like
hard loud. You know, like that hard loud where like they're
there's-
banging shit. They're
Yeah.
like opening doors loud. Like everything's loud.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I also just have like, it depends on what I'm saying. People tell me I sound like Owen Wilson when I say wow. Like sometimes I do that and it just, and I'm also like, what? Like, and people, I find different groups of people will do an impersonation of me, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know each other, but their impersonation is always the same. It's always like, like
Right, like kind of a
Muppet.
Yes, I was going straight to Muppet, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you got there first because I
Yeah.
didn't know
It could be
if
insult,
we know
but
each
it's
other
not.
well
Yeah,
enough for me
yeah.
to jump straight to Muppet.
it's all right. It's
Yeah.
hard to offend me.
It's hard to offend you. I get that impression, but I think
Yeah.
that's definitely like an American, like East Coast American thing. But I don't know, like you were born, like you were raised not East Coast. You've
No.
become East Coast.
I become East Coast. I
Yeah.
transformed. Now I'm Biggie, not Tupac.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
But I'm very white.
Good
I'm really
up-to-date
neither.
reference. I like that you wanted a rap reference that dads could get.
Yeah, right.
Even the dads are like, fuck, I'm so glad she used an old one.
I
This
am
is
searching
great.
for my dad, so just anything. for
Really?
fishing.
Oh,
Well,
my-
no, not really.
Oh, okay. You found him?
I know where he is, but
You-
I don't really. I know where he is. I've seen
Yeah.
him from across a courtroom recently. Not recently, but relatively recently.
What?
It's so well. My mother, and my father were married for 10 years.
Sure.
It seemed to be a marriage of convenience. My mom's going to love that I'm saying this to people.
Yeah.
Okay, but it
I
seemed
mean,
to
she
be...
says it to her friends. I'm imagining like over like mahjong. I don't know why.
She's 75.
She's 75?
Yeah, so yeah, she's
Wow.
probably going to love I announced that too. So she's 75.
75-year-olds listen to podcasts? My goodness.
Well, it's funny. I was trying to explain to her what a podcast was the other day, and I thought it was pretty funny. And I was like, maybe there's a bit here trying to explain to your mom what it is. She was like, is it like YouTube? And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, surely you should be able to get this. This is closest to the radio. This is like your big entertainment
yeah,
source.
actually, going right back to the 1950s.
Yeah. Just like, you ever miss a radio program and wish you could play it later? That's a podcast. You got it.
That's great. Look at that.
Yeah.
You're a better teacher than I.
That's what I do. I explain things to moms.
Oh,
It's my whole thing.
moms love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's 75. My father was her third marriage, and I think she was my dad's third marriage too.
Oh, man.
Or fourth.
That's very, like, I'm just thoroughly impressed because,
Right.
like, my mum's, like, married to my dad and then that's it. My dad's, like, 2 divorces in now.
Yeah.
And I'm always impressed when other people, kind of recklessly continue doing this thing.
Yeah, well, I was like, before I found the guy I'm dating, I was like, both my grandma and my mom had been married and divorced twice by the time they were my age, and I can't get a text back.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I'm
heavy.
like, what the fuck? I'm like, that fucking sucks. Like, what does that mean?
You don't have a commitment energy. They're worried about your soft loud. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's the soft loud
They don't
thing.
commit. They're the ones that just poison you over
they
breakfast.
like it at first, and then they're like, we want to bottle up the soft loud.
We
want
want the soft. We don't want the loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Just soft, quiet. That's
Soft.
what I heard.
Just women shouldn't speak.
Yeah, very reductive view of men here, but I back it.
Yeah, it's
I know what we like.
right. So my mom, she got married to this guy. It seemed so, and I was an accident.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that story out of her. Well, I got the accident part out of her a few years ago when I was drunk. I called her up. I was like, "You're gonna tell me," and she was like, "You were a miracle." And I was like, "That's not what that was."
You drunk dialed your mum to find out
Yes.
the real truth?
Yes, and also just my name because she named me Mary Catherine Elizabeth, and we are not Catholic.
Okay.
So I was like, "What's with the names, Mom?" And
Yeah.
she spelled Catherine all weird too.
Yeah, that's been an issue when I
Yeah.
was trying to find you.
Right.
I was
It's not a choice.
I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people who's like, I'm going to make myself special. My mom did it.
Yeah.
And
Was it on purpose she spelt you weird? Or was
Yeah.
or was she like,
Yeah.
this is like kind of like the first generation like hipster kid name?
No,
like that
right?
kind of vibe?
No, she said the neighbors suggested it.
The neighbors suggested it.
So I drunk dialed her, but then I think she didn't answer, so I texted her about it.
Yeah.
And I remember the text. I probably could find it somewhere, but like it was just like, the neighbors suggested it. Only 8 girls were named Catherine with your spelling in 1988. You are special. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, yeah, thanks, Mom.
What?
But it's like,
Who listens to their neighbors on that?
exactly. And I'm like,
Like, so I don't want to call this kid. I'm sorry. Just like peeking over the fence like it's Home Improvement.
right.
I was
Yeah.
like, what should I call this thing?
I was like, were they also the ones to tell you to keep me? Because that was,
There we Oh, my goodness.
So my dad didn't want me, obviously.
Obviously.
So she found out she was pregnant. It was a surprise. She told my dad. My dad suggested very gingerly, apparently, like driving or something, an abortion. She was like, I will not. And then here I came. So that was exciting for everybody, especially because it was like a loveless marriage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were married at the time.
So they were married. They were married 10 years.
Not intended to be pregnant.
Correct. Because I was born a day before her 44th birthday.
She was supposed to be barren. She
Pretty
was supposed
much,
to
yeah.
be done.
Yeah,
She was
everybody
supposed to
was
be out
supposed
of
to
the
be
game.
done. Yeah.
Everyone's like, don't even worry about pulling out. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the womb has already
Exactly.
pulled out.
The womb is
Do
tapped.
I understand the female anatomy properly?
I don't think I do either. I'm barely a woman. So I showed up.
I'm barely a woman. I should get paid more. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
like barely.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, give me
I
those
mean,
dude rates.
Exactly. I mean, what's coming out of this mouth.
Oh.
So then they were married for, I guess at least 10 years. So I guess they'd been married around 5 years at that point. Then my dad, they started their divorce, which took about 10 years.
Takes a long time. Family court, man. Or is it the same in the States? Family court, or is it?
I think it's family court, yeah. But it's also just my dad fought my mom over everything. And I asked her, later in life, like, why? And I guess the idea is like the woman he married before my mom, he was like absolutely in love with.
Sure.
And she like cheated on him in the way where like she left with a party with another man, like would leave on Christmas with him with the kids and like not say where she was and shit like that. And he was in love with her, so he gave her everything. So her idea, or I guess her thought is like he fought my mom on everything because maybe it was like the vitriolic hate probably stewing in him.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
Someone's got to pay for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Because their divorce took 10 years. And in the divorce, my mom was like awarded, it's Nevada. It was like some sum of money that I guess had gone into an account for when my dad retired. And then she would get a percentage of it.
Right.
And he was about to retire. And he was like, I don't want you to have any of it. And she was like, listen, the amount they want to give me is a lot. How about if we crunch the numbers, I take the percentage for the 10 years I was married to you. And then the rest can go to your new wife, who is one of his patients. He's a criminal psychiatrist who had a private practice.
Oh my God.
And began dating while married to my mom, like cheating on my mom with one of his patients who was like this paranoid schizophrenic named Mimi. Mimi. I remember Mimi.
Drew Carey? Mimi.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Jesus
oh God. I mean,
Christ.
I hope they don't look the same, but geez. Yeah. So.
I don't think this is the first time I feel like I really don't need to be here at all. Like this podcast is hosting itself currently.
I was like, we'll get to where we need to go.
Yeah. I'm just watching a documentary at this point. Please continue.
So Mimi, my mom was like, I'll just take this amount a month. It was like a percentage she was paid every month.
Yeah, there was like a logic to it. It seemed fair.
And it's like Nevada law. Like Nevada law is fucked. Like the most somebody is required to pay for child support in Nevada is $500 a month. That is the most.
$5 a month?
That's nothing.
Is that why Floyd Mayweather lives there?
I probably,
He wants some real cheap like child support.
Seriously.
That's his energy.
Because he still doesn't know how many kids he has.
Yeah. Isn't that, what a odd... Nevada, can I take a quick pause on family history to go Nevada?
Yeah.
Nevada, as far as like American states goes, Nevada seems like the international waters of like American states. You know what I mean? Anything goes.
Oh,
you go there to escape something.
It's fucked.
Like is that the actual energy?
Well, like Reno 911, it is like that.
What is Reno 911?
Oh, Reno 911 is like a very popular American show about cops in Reno.
Okay, so it's like a cop spin-off.
Yeah, exactly.
Reno specific.
But it's all ridiculous, and a lot of them are very stupid. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's based on just it being, I mean, prostitution's legal in Nevada. There's whorehouses, you know what I mean? And then, but then
it's legal here. You just can't solicit on the street.
I learned about that recently. It's just like red lettering and stuff.
It's just it's just a number.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you noticed, like, oh, you came the other way on the train, but Parramatta Road, which is like the main road that kind of links the middle of Sydney with like the east bit.
Right.
It's just like every now and again you just see just a number.
Yeah.
And my fiance didn't know what that meant until recently because she comes from the eastern suburbs where things are fancy.
Oh, fancy.
So you wouldn't say brothel, you'd say bordello.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You'd be that kind of little uptake.
I thought you were going to be like, I don't know if you noticed the number on the front of my house.
Oh,
but,
no, I'm not actually a prostitute. This isn't just like a really niche kink that we're going through.
Rumors aren't true then.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
jeez. But yeah, so like Nevada, you were born there?
Yeah.
You were raised there?
I was born in Reno, raised in Reno.
Reno, and I just clarified this with you before you got on the pod. I thought it was east. I thought that was Atlantic City adjacent. It is not.
No.
Reno is separate.
Reno's West Coast.
West Coast?
Yeah. Near Tahoe.
Near Tahoe?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that like a lake?
Yeah. Beautiful lake.
And
Tahoe.
then near that is Reno. Like
Yeah,
just
super
this kind of
close.
dumpster.
Yeah, dumpster.
Energy.
Yeah, you drive through Verdi and then you get to Reno and there's Boomtown's there. Boomtown's in Verdi. It's
What is Boomtown? I've heard of the Boomtown Rats, but that's all I got.
Nope, country western themed casino.
Lovely.
Yeah, and a lot of kids parties happen there because there's like a whole kids area that's a ton of fun. And they had the virtual reality things like in the 90s, you know, when you could strap into the chair and it would like move you around a bit while you wore the glasses. And
like when the movie was in 4D and they'd spray with water.
yeah, I don't think we got sprayed with anything because like in Nevada that might be a little like, you know, you don't spray the kids in Nevada.
Okay. So all right,
Just their dads.
just their dads, of course. They pay for it. So how long were you there for?
I was in Reno 10 years.
10 years. Till you were 10.
Yeah.
And then you got out of... So, like...
Well, I didn't get out. I actually wanted to stay in Reno.
You wanted to stay in Reno?
Yeah, but this divorce began, and it became like effectively a battle royale. It took 10 years for them to get divorced because my dad sort of fought my mom on everything. And this is all information my mom gave me later in life. Like, my mom was really cool. She pretty much sheltered me from all the like ugliness, that was going on between her and my dad. I saw my dad a few times, but basically... For one visit, I was there and he brought Mimi, which you're not supposed to do.
Right.
And they like went into his room and I was like doing an arts and craft. And then I went to like get him and I saw them laying on the bed. And I don't know what they were doing, but I told my mom and my mom, told the court because she's like, look, what...
We can't do this.
It's kind of fucked up pretty much. And
like on a visit. Yeah, that's pretty...
Exactly.
Yeah,
like you could do this literally
gross.
any other time.
Yeah.
So they ordered that he was going to have to be, I can't remember what the word is, but basically supervised visits. And the first one that happened, he just never showed up. He agreed to come, then never showed up, and I never saw him again.
Right.
It's really sad to think about. It was like in the principal's office. I remember waiting there thinking like, this is horseshit. It's like school is over. I'm here with this lady, and I'm in the principal's office.
Why can't I go home?
This fucking sucks. But like, I literally never saw my dad again until a few years ago when this court battle started happening over what my mom had been awarded in the divorce.
Wait, this happened again?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying.
10-year divorce.
So
and then
10-year
come
divorce.
Back up.
She was awarded a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
When it came time for him to retire, he was like, I don't want you to have anything. And she was like, look, how about I just take a percentage for the decade I was married to you and then the rest can go to Mimi.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I want you to have nothing. So we went back to the Supreme Court of Nevada with her and my mom lost. So she lost this chunk of money that she had been counting on and even negotiated to be like, look, like, yeah, they gave me too much. Here, have...
Yeah, but he was
like, fuck you.
You get nothing.
Yeah, so I went with my mom to the Supreme Court hearing and saw my dad from across the room. And he just looks like a mean, crotchety old man. I'm also not his only child. I have like 3 or 4 half-brothers on his side from other women and a half-sister that I've never... I mean, I might have met when I was a kid, but I don't know now.
Right, there's no relationship at all.
Yeah, so this is just a dude like, jizzing everywhere and then... So it's hard to take the leaving of me personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is kind of true to form. Like it wasn't me specifically.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about me. He wasn't like, oh, I just don't like this one.
Yeah. He's like, I don't like any of them. I should have never done this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he have any kids with Mimi?
No, but I believe she had a son from a prior marriage who may or may not have been retarded. Am I allowed to say that word or am I going to get canceled? Mentally disabled. Something.
I mean, I think like retarded, like if it's like medical.
I believe that's what, or something was wrong with Timmy.
With Timmy?
That's his
name. Oh my goodness. I saw him on South Park. It was great.
Based off a real person.
Yeah, this has been like a lot to process.
You were sitting here before. It's hard to find things about you on the internet.
And I'm like, fuck, in real life, they're everywhere. I can understand why this isn't coming up on your press releases.
And this is like barely anything too.
Okay, so it's you and your mom, and you've left.
Right. Well, then I have a half brother on my mom's side who's 20 years older than me. Yeah.
This is in his 50s now.
So he is in his 50s. Yeah.
Jeez, that's an old man.
It's weird.
That's like a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we don't necessarily have the best relationship as a result,
Yeah. Okay. So then like at 10 years old, that's when you moved east.
No, when I was 10, we moved to California.
California. So you moved west.
Well, just like a little bit.
A little west.
East. A little east. Wait, nope, a little west.
A little
You're
west,
right.
yeah. I drove.
West.
I had my 30th birthday in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to drive. So.
You didn't know how to drive?
No, I never learned.
Have you been to Vegas?
No.
You never been to Vegas?
Never
You were
been to
right
Vegas.
next to Vegas?
Well, it's not really near Reno. It's
How long is the drive?
I want to say like at least 8 hours, if not more.
Oh, okay. So like a Sydney to Melbourne kind of.
Yeah, like Sacramento to LA.
Yeah, like long. Like
Yeah,
it ain't just like
It
pop
might
down.
even be more.
Pop down for the day.
Yeah, I don't think it's even like, I don't think it's 4 hours. I think it's like 8. It's something. It's substantial.
But like for me, like Nevada seems like, you know that America that you hear like elects presidents, like that kind of. Like that, like, you know what I mean? Like they like elect the president. It's like middle America, like Walmart, strip mall. Is that the right vibe?
Yeah, I believe it's a red state. I'm pretty positive it's a red state.
Yeah,
and
but like, do you see people in like cowboy hats and they got trucks? And
yeah, it depends on the area. You know, there's nice areas of Reno. I mean, in downtown Reno, it's kind of crazy. Like
But is it Southern? Would you call it Southern?
No.
They don't have the Southern vibe. They don't have that like kind of barbecue thing.
No,
Country
because it
music.
snows there.
It
too.
snows there.
It snows in Nevada. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Tahoe, like is a skiing, like Alpine Meadows and like what do they call it, Mount Rose. I mean, it's like a skiing town too in the winter. So it gets cold. So it's like, yeah, it is like, it's kind of got like a Western feel, but also not.
Okay.
You know, I don't know.
No, it's I'm just
yeah.
I'm like, because you know, as a tourist in America, like you only kind of play you play the hits. You know, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not listening to every album. You're listening to like the anthology, or it's all together.
Right.
So like, you know, you never go to Reno, and I'm like,
no one should.
no one should go to Reno.
No.
I think that's the first message of today's podcast. Just like, no one should go to Reno.
No.
Sorry, we should just introduce you quickly because I like to. Katharyn Henson.
Yes. Hello.
From Katharyn Henson, weird spelling. Spell it for them. I would love them to know.
It's Katharyn.
Yeah.
So it's technically, and we'll never do this, pronounced Katharyn.
Katharyn.
Yeah, but I'm not playing that game. So
You're not doing that?
should. No, it's ridiculous.
What about
an extra
as a
syllable for no reason?
Like a little bit of power. Like,
no, but could you
Katharyn.
imagine somebody like says your name to go on stage? I'm like, no, it's Katharyn. Could you imagine how
it's,
obnoxious that would
Katharyn.
be?
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
It's no good.
No.
It doesn't come with being well liked.
No.
If you're really rich, I think maybe like if you're like loaded.
Yeah, but then you just make people do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more like a power trip.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it's open to you. If the success comes,
I
like
guess.
you can suddenly go to like one name, like just Katharyn.
Just Katharyn. Ugh.
Yeah.
I would pick a better name. I'm not like the biggest fan of the name.
Well, I mean, yeah, look, I wouldn't be either. You know, like anything weird, right? No one wants to be weird.
I mean, I tried to switch my name to like Katie in second grade. You know, when like
you try to affect the nickname.
Well, I was in a gifted and talented program, right? Like one of those kids.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, I had to. Second grade, I'm clinging to that still. That's like my glory days.
I don't know if sorry, can I make this link? Second grade, gifted and talented. Sorry, now about my name.
Yeah, and so, but like they'd put us on a bus and take us to a totally different school. And so there I know, wild,
Wait, what?
Right? Yeah, it was crazy.
They didn't want the smart kids to be around the normal kids.
For like not every day, but like it was like one day a week we would go to our like special class, right? And so when I went to the special school with the special class, even with the kids in from my class, I was like, here I'm Katie. You know? So I got to be Katie, but I am not a Katie. I'm not an IEY name.
No.
No.
But like, sorry, you went with the special kids to the special school.
I know it's sad. No. It was the gifted
opposite.
and talented program.
But like, were there the special kids? Did they go to like another special school?
Well, you mean the special kids?
Yeah, the special.
I don't know where they went.
Air quotes on a podcast.
We weren't
Come on
running
now.
in the same circles.
Oh, you would not with Katie. They didn't know Katie.
Yeah, they didn't know Katie.
They heard of Katharyn.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
I'm kind of digging that, giving it a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. You know, I'm not fussed either way.
No, dude, I take people how they want to be addressed seriously.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm very easy going.
But okay, so this is so. I just like because of the twang. We had this just when we got a coffee. They
Yeah.
were like, New York, which borough are you from?
Yeah.
Which sounded like an Australian pretending they knew shit about New York, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, which borough is that? Are you Law and Order or Law and Order SVU? Which one? Which one are you?
I like SVU.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's always the best one. Which sounds fucked.
It sounds fucked,
It's
but it
very
is.
difficult to.
It's the best one though.
I've watched them all. Like
Me
literally
too.
every episode of SVU.
Me
like,
too.
I adore it.
Oh yeah.
It's the best. And like,
It was a long winter.
yeah, because I'm getting married, as I said, and like we were trying to integrate the theme
Oh, that's funny.
into the wedding somehow, and we're like, there's no way
No,
that you can do that
you
without
shouldn't do that.
vaguely bringing up a sex
Yeah,
crime
yeah.
on your wedding day. We're just like, we're just gonna have to abandon it. We just wanted the dun dun, like we just
Yeah.
wanted that, you know. But you can't.
Fun fact: I worked with a guy whose very good friend was Kelly Giddish,
Kelly, that's
the new lady, the blonde lady.
Rollins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I spent one Thanksgiving with her. Fun.
No way.
Right when she got it, like so she was new on it.
Because she was young when she got it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was a while ago. Also, fun fact, this was great because I've since seen the episode. I went to school in New York and they were filming on the block of my school, right? So, and there was an episode where a kid is running covered in blood. So it was funny to see the kid after the take was done because they had a handler for him and it was like a little kid and he's like running around screaming and laughing covered in like fake blood. But they had their chairs set up, right? Like Mariska Hargitay said August's mommy because I guess her kid's name is August.
Sure.
Ice-T, right? So I go over to Ice-T's chair and I am like, hello, I need a photo next to this chair right now. So my friend's taking photos of me next to the chair, and this prop guy comes up and he's like, "Do you want to wear his badge and hold a gun?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he gives me this rubber gun. It's like a rubber gun, and I'm wearing Ice-T's badge. I mean, who knows if it was, but that's what I was told.
Yeah.
And I'm standing next to the chair, and I am like, "This is the best fucking day of my life." Forget Ice-T. It's all about the chair and the badge and the gun.
Of course.
Yep. So
Dude.
yeah, to New York, right?
That's great.
That was a great day.
How old were you?
I must have been, I was either a freshman or sophomore in college. So I moved to New York when I was 17. So I might have been.
Right. I wasn't sure whether it was like a kid thing. Like, hey, kid, like have this great experience. Like you're like semi-adult.
No. I was 18.
Like,
I was at least
hey.
18.
Yeah,
I want to say
yeah.
probably 18, maybe 19.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Ice-T. I mean,
Yeah, it's
just
great.
the fact that his like Twitter handle is final level.
Oh, see,
Like-
I'm not on. I mean, I'm on Twitter, but so I don't know.
Oh, no.
I could
He's like,
pretend.
his
Final level? That's really
all
good.
caps.
That's really good. Him and Coco.
Yeah.
What a fun thing. They're not together anymore though.
I
Right?
don't know.
Who knows? But that was fun to
Oh,
sort
it's
of.
wild, right?
Yeah, it
like
was
that's like
Yeah.
he to me is like somehow like one of the like pinnacles of American culture.
Yeah, me too.
I
Yeah.
think you're just
Yeah.
like, because America. Yeah, this is sorry. The reason I like obviously I'm very curious about America. I like America, and I get very annoyed when. Did you cop much of that? Because like the reason I was very excited to have you on is because
Yeah.
you spent some time in the UK recently.
Right, I did, yeah.
And now you're in Australia.
Yeah.
Being an American, you stay American. You like the president. You know, once you're president,
Yeah.
you're always Mr. President. Once you're
Yeah.
American, you're always an American. You know?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
But like, yeah, did you cop any like criticism? Like, did you cop any like hate for being American? Did you cop any like comments or like even with crowds at shows? Like, was there kind of like this anti-American thing?
No, the only time I got anything. So I have a bit about the premise is when sports are on, men are distracted, and therefore women are safe.
That's a good bit.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Yeah.
I'm excited about it. And I asked someone, I have kind of like roped in crowd work where I'm like, what's your sport? And people would say football. And often I'm like, you mean like soccer? And when I would say that, they'd boo me. And I'm like,
Absolutely, don't do that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
but I'm like, what? I'm like, hello, I'm just trying to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
No,
They
no,
would
no,
lose
no.
their mind. That was the only time. They'd like boo me. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I can't even think of an equivalent. Like, it'd be like I don't know, just like some kind of slur, like you know, like
Really?
like a clarifying where it's like just like Africans Americans, and they're like, oh, do you mean? And you're like,
And
whoa,
so-
no, hey, whoa, hey,
Is
hey.
it really that bad?
Dude, that is like a serious
fuck.
thing for like football fans, like and obviously I do mean soccer, like and they know, like they know that like the American football is like MLS, Major League Soccer, so like they're aware that you guys call it soccer. But even in Australia, there was like a point, I think it was like maybe 2006 or 2005, because it was just before we're in the World Cup again for the first time in
Yeah.
ages, where we officially stopped calling it soccer. You won't hear it
fuck.
referred to as soccer, but like in the UK,
Okay.
they will get like not proper mad at you, but very fun mad at you.
Well, now, do people know what the NFL is?
Yes.
And can I refer to that in a joke and have it not be offensive toward? Because I do that.
But if you say like NFL,
Yeah, I say NFL.
that's fine.
Okay, well,
Or you can
fine.
say
I'm going to stop clarifying.
American football.
It's just, okay, American football. So,
Like
okay.
we have Australian football, like Aussie
Yeah.
rules football.
The thing that I
So-
find would have maybe taken... somebody said to me, because I tried to edit something to fit UK culture. Like instead of saying trash for a joke, I said bin, right? Because that's what they say.
Yes.
And
You're
comic...
referring to the receptacle
Yeah,
as opposed to
receptacle,
the
yeah.
contents.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
We would also say bin.
bin.
Yeah.
And well, and then somebody had suggested I do that to see if it would make more sense to audiences. And then a comic was like, it actually takes me out of the joke hearing my accent try to use
Bin.
the slang. Yeah, whatever, the slang or however they put it. So with that said, I'm kind of like, if somebody says football, if I'm like, oh, football, I wonder if the same thing will happen.
Well, I mean,
with the joke.
I would say like your football, not like our football. Like I would play off that. And
Okay.
if you're going to say soccer, lean into it.
Yeah.
As in like, I'm saying this to piss you off.
Yeah, I mean, well, you hear this accent. Like if I've ever been I have lines that I do that I know are supposed to elicit a "ooh," and
Yeah.
then I can like yell at them.
Yeah.
Because this accent is very, I guess, funny to people to hear yell. And
Yeah.
when you get me all worked up, apparently I'm very amusing. Like, you wind me up, like the voice is like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, it's like it's funny actually. Yeah, because I think a lot of people when they hear comedy in an American accent, like an East Coast American accent, they're like, "That's correct.
That
that is how it
Yes.
should." You know what I mean? Like that's how it should be. Like, yeah, it's quite funny. Like, I don't know why. I definitely have that with like certain things in like an Australian accent.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
fine.
like cunt with you
Cunt
guys.
in-
You guys are like, you can't. Like, everybody's throwing it around so much. I think it's really funny.
Mate, you have not spent enough time in the UK if you think they're not dropping that.
I also hear it there, but it's like for some reason I equate it with Australians more. I don't know why.
I think like we kind of use it like the least necessarily.
Maybe that's
like
what it
it's
is.
just for fun.
Yeah.
Like, I have like a thing in a joke where I'm just like talking about a plane. I'm like, watch me land this cunt.
yeah.
And like I'm not talking about the guy watching you land. I'm talking about the plane as a cunt.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
we'll do. Whereas like the British, it's still kind of directed at a person.
Right.
Yeah. But like, did you find it offensive at any point? I should not. Like you said
I'm not
like it.
offended. No.
Yeah. But Americans don't like it, man. When I've done stuff
No,
over there,
they
you
really
have to
don't.
explain it.
When I called my mom a cunt, the one time I did, I will never forget it. It was, when the parent is just quiet,
Right.
totally silent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give me some context. When? Why?
I don't even remember.
I've never called my mum a cunt.
Well,
God bless
I-
her. Lovely, lovely, lovely woman.
Don't know what we were fighting about.
So it was mid-fight.
I remember where I did it. It was
Okay.
it was like in a doorway of her bedroom. And I just remember the look she gave me and the silence, and she like stared at me and then walked away, and I knew it was fucked up for me. From there, I was like, "Oh, that was bad."
Did you like have to apologize? Like, was it one of those ones like I should start apologizing right now?
I think I went and thought about what I did, because I was like, if she's so mad that the fighting stopped,
Right, it
then
must have been.
it's fucked.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of older. Because I think older people
Yeah.
here still don't like it. Like just in the way that I'm
Yeah.
like swearing. Like I noticed that if you're over like 65, like you're probably swearing.
Yeah.
You're still kind of like it kind of like gets a little tick in your face. You're like
I mean, I was doing a gig here last night, and like some old people I can really rock with, but then there's some, and I saw them before I went up, and I was like, this is not gonna be for them. And when I got to my fisting bit, they were like, apparently, like these younger people who were seated at their table, like the husband turned to the wife and said, "We should go." And I'm just like,
I think we've had enough here.
bad. It's weird because it's like when I really think about what I'm saying, I guess I could feel like, oh, maybe this is too much, but like, I'm saying it because it's like I've lived it. Not that I've never been fisted, or fisted anyone, but like,
What an amazing clarification. I just want to
Yeah,
make
so-
sorry, look at the right here. Like
just-
I'm not saying it's not my personal experience.
yeah,
Fisting joke. It's like all first
Right.
person.
yeah. But it is like, and the only reason I went there is because the gig was kind of rough. Like they weren't going with me with the cocaine stuff and whatever. And I just ended up, I was like, you know what? Fine. Like I find if it's interesting doing clubs versus then like a bar show, right?
Yeah.
And it's
In Australia, pretty much everything's a bar show.
right.
Like there's
As
only like
it's, I mean, not at New York, but a lot of bar shows in New York.
yeah, but like two or three like comedy clubs in the country in Australia.
Right.
Whereas like in the UK, like everything's kind of a comedy club, and I definitely
Yeah.
think like there is an energy that you get and that they get when it's like this is a comedy club.
Right.
This isn't happening in your bar.
Right.
You know what this is.
Yeah.
Like we're going places.
Well, it becomes easy.
Yeah.
I find. And then what I find is like what's made me at least as good as I mean, like I can still get better and I'm going to get better and whatever. But what's built me up to being where I'm at, I guess, being serviceable on stage and funny, most of the time.
Serviceable.
Yeah.
Good.
Is like doing rooms that are tough, right? And having to work for it.
Yeah.
But then when I go, once I get used to the good rooms, which I guess like I've sort of been doing in the UK because I just got to Australia recently. Then when I go back up in a room like that, you start to do your little jokes and then you realize, oh, we're not like in that room. We're in a room where I need to connect differently in order to do these jokes. Like, I don't get to just go up there and do my regular jokes with my like roped crowd work to get into my jokes or whatever. It's kind of like, no, we're moving this to another level of like, time to actually connect, like, which is a totally different skill that you don't necessarily have to use in a big comedy club
when everyone's waiting for
when everybody's excited to see you and what you have to say, and isn't necessarily like, you know, make me laugh, clown, you know?
Yeah, just like, hey, I was eating a pizza and now this thing's happening.
Yeah.
Why are you ruining my pizza?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, it's an interesting... Yeah, it's funny because, like, I don't know, we were talking about this the other day when I mentioned the thing about, I swear, like, do you think Americans idealize struggle in like general, like,
you know, I'm wondering because like I've thought about what you're saying after that. Like, for me, like, I can speak from my personal experience and I can speak for what I see because
Sure.
you know, you get, so I'll start with like, you know, you got all these.
This podcast, just so you know, is about sweeping generalizations.
Okay, perfect.
That is what we're doing here.
Great.
It's the best.
Fantastic. Like, you know, you got all these New York comics who are getting on the internet and they're doing one of two things. They're either saying like packed show, everybody killed, which is like lies. Lie. Not everybody didn't kill. That's like impossible. You know, and the show was probably okay. You know what I mean? Like, killer show, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you got people out here like, we out here grinding, we're in these streets, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, whatever. What the fuck ever. You know what I mean? We're doing comedy. And like, for me, I like getting up. I'll do any room. I don't give a shit. I find a way to work in whatever room I'm in. You know what I mean? And so whether the show was good or bad, I mean, sometimes I'm not in the mood for a really bad show, but I was like, I can personally get something done. And I think for some of the New York comics, sometimes like it was when I would realize like a show was really bad, like there's 4 people, I'm like, for some of them, that's the only show they got booked on that week. You know, like they might just be transitioning out of being in mics, you know what I mean, into bar shows. So I'm like, for them, they're, you know,
this is huge.
That's all that is the show, you know. And so I was lucky enough to like, I guess, work. I mean, I worked for it, you know, and I was willing to do anything, like not anything. I was willing to do anything.
We've already clarified fisting, none, ever, either way.
Not related to the comedy, but but. You know, so it's like, I think it varies. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I meant it like not necessarily in the comedy lens, but obviously like what else are we qualified to speak on? But this is the beautiful thing about sweeping generalizations. Because it's funny because in my head, like, America's always a glitzy kind of like, we made it.
Yeah.
Like it's the bottle. The photo of you with the expensive bottle of champagne, like burning money, like that's kind of peak America. You know what I mean? Like, I have extravagant success. Just like
I see that.
Kind of like 90s rap video. That's peak, like, you know, of just like America. And it's about the success, and it's about like celebrating the success. Like, you know, that's why the winning team gets invited to the White House and gets, you know, McDonald's and shit. Right.
Yeah.
Whereas like, the more that I kind of think about it, it's like not really that. Like, I think the American dream is kind of like this rags to riches, kind of like ascent through the class system.
Yeah.
And like from like, one day I was sweeping floors, now I own the company.
Yeah, like American Idol.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if you dream it, you can be it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's and the struggle is kind of celebrated in like this kind of like, you should go through struggle because then your story is going to be better when you win.
Right.
Like, there's still this positivity of like, you are going to succeed.
Yeah.
But like, I think the struggle is idealized. Whereas like, it's funny because in the UK, I think the messaging they put out is like stiff upper lip, like keep calm, carry on. Like, you know, that kind of thing where it's like, it'll be fine. Just be calm. Don't let it rattle you.
Right.
Like, that's their energy. But like, they don't really like the UK is not about breaking the class system. Right. It's not about going up through it. It's about doing your bit correctly. Like, you're middle class, you keep being middle class, dude. You crushed it. If you're working class, you keep serving these rich people, dude. You're doing great. Right. But don't complain while you do it. Yeah. Whereas like, it's quite funny because I think oddly the American one probably idealizes the struggle even more. Because it's like, you know, how could you not? You got no health care. Like, you got no safety net. It's terrifying.
What's interesting about what you're saying is like what I notice happening, and I was like on a podcast and we were discussing it. It was like an Irish comic and like an American, like white male comic, right?
Sure.
We were talking about some of these hot shows like in New York. It's like this Irish comic was hanging out with another Irish comic and who's doing relatively well, Sean Finnerty. I don't know if you know, but you know, and they were watching it and they were watching this show and it's very diverse, right? You know, and that's what it is. Not necessarily funny. They were both like, who is this for? But it's a hot show. It's packed. You know, it's a show any comic wants to do.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it seems like people are more focused on booking for, I guess, sort of what you're talking about, the struggle, the diversity, whatever, as opposed to who might be funny at any given time. Now, I'm not saying like all white dudes are funny because they're not. You know,
Wait, we're not?
Yeah, no.
I gotta tell a lot of people.
Newsflash.
I gotta tell a lot of family members.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they've been pitching me jokes for years now.
Right.
I just kind of assumed they were funny. I don't know.
Holidays canceled.
Damn it.
But yeah, so it's like, I think sometimes, I mean, that's just like another version of what you're saying, I think. It's like the struggle is idealized. They're like, oh, this will look better on the show because this person has a story of struggle, you know, as opposed to like a guy who's just a guy who came from a happy fucking family and they're brothers and they make sketches, but they don't get booked on anything because they're just like these white dudes.
They're just dudes. They're just
They're
like
just
whatever.
dudes, even though they're both funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
And-
it's just like, I just think it's like it seems to be something that you guys highlight more than other places. It's like, you know, even in rap songs where the guy is rich, he's always talking about, I used to do this shit job.
Where he came from.
Like, I find it so funny. Like, these are like the biggest rappers in the world and they're still bragging in their songs about how they were good drug dealers though.
Yeah.
Like, don't discount my ability to like sling drugs. Like, I was killing that.
You couldn't have been that good because now you're a rapper.
Yeah, dude, you gave up on it.
Yeah.
Like, you had this little plan B of rapping.
Yeah.
But it's funny just because, like, because I think you guys are kind of considered like these, not like spoiled as a country, but like definitely like, you know, you show your wealth and like you're immodest.
Right.
Immodest is the
I
word.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think in a lot of ways, like that's not really fair, I think.
I don't know. You know, I mean, it's, to be honest, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I spend most of the time thinking about me, which is very American, I would say.
Yeah, definitely that.
But
100%.
Like, but on that, so it's like, I'm not really, I don't pay to, like, I hear what you're saying.
Sure.
Other people, like, what they do, I think can piss me off so much that I don't focus a lot on other people in their, you know, like.
But like, do you think like that is part of American culture, like focusing on yourself? It's
Absolutely.
just like, don't worry about anyone else, man.
So that's the one I'm going.
Don't worry about the Deliveroo driver. Just worry where your food is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm very nice to people, though. I like being nice.
But you are a very nice country and a nice person.
Well, no, it's not a nice. I wouldn't say it's a nice country.
You guys don't think you're nice?
I mean, it's really. You think we're nice?
Yes,
I don't
absolutely.
know. I don't
Scary
know.
nice, ridiculous, Christian nice. You know, like nice. It's like there must be a conversion coming, like that kind of nice.
But I feel like we're quick to snap.
No, not
Really?
for foreigners. Not for white foreigners. Maybe I don't know. Like
I mean, no, but it's like when I'm in New York, I mean, this is so like basic New York, but it's like I can't stand tourists because everybody's in my fucking way.
Yeah.
That's so like,
But you just quietly annoy, like by it, I think. Like,
I mean, I guess we're not screaming at
yeah,
people. But
like, you know, your homeless people yell at you. That's something. New York has the craziest homeless people ever.
Worse than crazy. We have craziest homeless, but not the worst homeless problem. That's San Francisco.
San Francisco homeless is terrifying. I don't know.
It's
But that's like America, right? Like it's like the tech city. It's never been worth more and everything.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's just like
crazy.
these homeless people just there.
Everywhere.
Like
yeah.
everywhere.
They shipped them there from like Nevada and Arizona and shit. They put them on buses.
Bullshit.
Yeah, like they bought it was like this whole thing. I read about it. They like were buying like the crazy people bus tickets to San Francisco. Yeah.
Why?
Because they just San Francisco, I guess, like just welcomed the whole thing. I mean, that's why there's so many. The population's like out of control for the homeless. It's fucking crazy. And I like live in New York and like see homeless people. Like I'm like alarmed. I don't like going to San Francisco, and I used to love it as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I found it very confronting when I was there.
I hate it.
Because it's definitely
Confronting,
like
that's a
here-
word for it, yeah.
Yeah, here I'm sure you would have noticed there's like very few
Yeah, I don't see any.
homeless people.
Yeah.
Well, this is like kind of the burbs where we are now. Like burbs-ish.
Yeah, but I've been
Burbs-adjacent.
around-ish.
But yeah, but it's still...
It's still minor.
nothing compared to like the UK. and America. I mean, like America's got the most, and I think that's got to be like a
Yeah.
healthcare thing, right? Like, just there's no other explanation.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like, in the States, it seems like the way that I always think about the States is like it's just the country with no safety net. There is no safety net.
No.
If you fall, you hit the ground. Like that's the
Yeah,
end.
it's funny. Like I've never thought of it like this. Like everything you're saying. Like yeah, I guess you're right. Like somebody was. So I have a UK SIM right now,
sure.
and real excited about it. I'm connected to 3. I can use my data in America, in Australia, in the UK.
Isn't it amazing?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Love it. And my thing ran out, right? Like for a couple days in the UK. It was still working, and then I got a phone call and text, and they were like, "Yeah, no, like even when your SIM runs out, when you're out of whatever, you can still get phone calls and texts from people. You just can't text back."
Is that not the same everywhere?
No, in America, when you're done, you're done. Like if you haven't paid
You can't
for
receive.
it, you can't. As far as I know, you can't receive. When your shit is out.
It's out.
It's fucking out. You can call 911. And that's like it, I think.
And that is not a free call.
No, yeah, you're going to pay to be murdered in my country. So I'm pretty sure when you're done, you're done. Like phone,
Right.
like I've called friends where I'm like, oh shit, their phone's off. Like
Can
they
I
didn't
ask,
pay their bill.
American Sims, what's the deal with roam? Because I came back, and on my UK Sim, you could roam all of Europe, you could roam America, you could roam Australia, and like it's the same. Like it doesn't add anything on.
Yeah.
And then I got back to Australia, and I went to New Zealand, and I was like, we're basically the same country.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
And I was like trying to get internet, and they're like, no, it's like $1 a minute. And I'm just like, you fucking kidding me? What year is it?
Wait, with which SIM?
With my Australian Sim, because
Oh,
like
your
I
Australian
switched,
SIM.
I
Oh, I
switched
see.
over because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm living it now. Screw
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
here we
yeah.
go. And they were just like, yeah, we don't do roaming. And I'm like, what?
Dude, I don't know what American phones do. Like, because I haven't used it out here because I hate them all. I hate them all. I've been with everybody. I fucking hate them all. And I will tell
But
you
you've
this.
changed providers in the States.
I have changed. Yes.
I have
never
never changed a
I've gone
provider.
from contract to fun. This was a pro tip an Apple Store guy gave me. So when I started working at the Sex Dungeon, which we can talk about or not,
Sure.
whatever, I went and bought a phone. I broke my phone. You know when like you never have anything bad happen, and then in one time you like break 2 phones within 3 months. That's
Right.
what I had never lost a phone or fucked up a phone. I like ruined 2. It was incredible. So I went to the Apple Store, bought a phone just outright in cash. I was like, give me a phone. So I could get just any SIM. So I wasn't beholden to anybody because I was
Right.
pissed. I was pissed at one
I've
of them.
never bought a phone attached to a plan. I've never done
Yeah,
it.
we have to. That's it. They get you in a weird thing when they're like, "Ooh, you can get a new iPhone for just this much money a month, or just this much money. You can like loan the phone from the company, and
Yeah.
then turn it. It's all fucking horseshit.
You guys are the loan, like car loans.
We're sharks.
Who
We're
the
sharks.
fuck ever got a car
We're
loan
sharks.
outside of America?
Everything is like, that's why when I walked into your apartment, I'm like, oh, have you thought about renting this space? You could make some money, you know? I'm just like, very transactional, very fucked up.
That's just very funny. It's just like you got a room in here. Like you could
Yeah.
use that. You
You're
could
like,
that could
have
be
you
money,
thought about
dude.
this?
Yeah.
So the Apple Store guy,
Yeah.
he was like, if you buy a phone outright, look it up. Like every prepaid phone plan is better and cheaper than the contract plans.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up. I could get unlimited talk, unlimited text, unlimited data for way less than the contracted plans.
Yeah.
It's just prepaid. So I was like, fuck yeah. So but even so, they fuck you if you need it for just a couple days, right?
Totally.
So anyway,
I call them and yell at them. Do you do that?
Oh, I've yelled at
Sorry,
everyone.
I just can't believe I just asked like a New York person if they ever called customer service
I
and
know,
yelled.
right?
It's like, have you ever done that? It's
Dude,
like, we invented that.
I mean, I called my internet service provider one time when it wasn't working in the middle of the night when I was trying to watch. It was during the last season of Game of Thrones. I was trying to watch one of the episodes. It was my only chance to watch it because my week was so busy and my internet wasn't working. So I called them up and like created a lie that I convinced myself was true. So I could be angry. I was like, I have a deadline. And they were like, well, we have service interruptions because we had to work on it. I was like, but you should have sent a notice. Now I have to get on a train, take my computer, find a friend who's going to let me into their home at 3 a.m. So and none of this is true. I just wanted to
course.
watch Game of
You're
Thrones.
just sitting there being like, load.
Got a $5 credit. Yep.
$5 credit.
That's
Worth
it. Thank you. That's what all that was for.
I swear they're the most polite in the UK because in the UK I just call up and be like, my bill is too high. And they'd be like, yeah, it's pretty high actually. And I'd be like, yeah, is there anything you guys can do about it? And like, what about half? And I'm like, great.
Right.
That was the length of the phone call. Can I please? just EE provider. Just I'll shout you out forever. I tried to do that here, and they're like, but all the charges are valid. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to pay it. And they're like, well, you have to. And I was like, I fucking hate this country.
I mean, that's how they are in America. And things that won't make any sense, or like I can't even, but I got misinformation. I love using that. I'm like, I was given misinformation, and I was like, and I have been, I like extortion. I'll throw that word. I get on the phone with these people and throw around words like, do I even really know the true meaning? I don't know.
You gotta lie though. You have to. I was like, I was given the wrong information. Why would I have signed up for this plan if I was given all the information?
And I'll just like let everything that's upset
I was
me
misled.
that week.
Oh, that's a good
misled,
one.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I just swirl it all into that. And like, I always start with, I know this isn't you.
Oh,
I
you
know
do
this
that?
isn't your fault.
That's nice.
But then I start it with that so then I can like blow up without it being like personal.
I've heard the tip that you just want to go straight to the top. Like you get to the first
I do
person
that.
and you're like, all right, I want to speak to your manager. I don't give a fuck what, you get out of here. I'm going above.
Sometimes they can help you.
Starting there.
Yeah. You never know.
I think this has probably been the most useful conversation I've ever recorded.
Everybody's like, boring.
No, dude, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is what, don't you reckon, like, if someone's like, I had a kid, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if someone's like, hey, I got like a free phone plan for 3 months, I'm like, how?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, ding, ding. Yeah. I mean, because we know how kids are
I'm so much
made.
more interested in that. But I just thought of another thing for America. All right. What about this? The country of terms and conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That like
I click, and it's just you click agree. You have no idea what you're agreeing to.
Yeah,
Who has
like,
time for that?
Everything there, terms and conditions. I think just because the thing that freaked me out was when I heard that you had to get the right ambulance. Like your ambulances are branded.
I don't even know. And like for the most part, like frankly, it's like, if there is a chance to not get an ambulance, don't get the ambulance.
That's what I mean. Like Uber, you got like a wound and you're going in an Uber.
Yeah, no, yeah, because the ambulance is going to cost you an arm and a leg. I can't even remember when was the last time there was a great I was in a situation where there was like a massive debate about whether or not to get an ambulance for this person. And like two people were arguing about it because one was like, I'm getting the ambulance. I can't remember who this was for. And the other person was like, don't you fucking dare, because all you're going to do is pile on hospital charges that this person isn't going to want. Get them in a cab,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
So they're like screaming when somebody like I think needed to go somewhere.
It's like dying on the ground and these two people are just arguing.
But the ambulance is so expensive, and healthcare. Like I don't have healthcare.
Yeah. Is that scary? Like on a day to day?
I have. Well, it's like this is how expensive it was. Like, well, I was on Medicaid for a minute, which was great.
What's Medicaid?
It's like free healthcare from the government when you make below a certain amount of money.
Okay.
But you don't get a ton of perks. But at the same time, a friend of mine who filed for bankruptcy she had like breast cancer or something, or vulva cancer, some shit, but she got it removed for like no money on Medicaid. So I don't know how it all works. Point is, I had it because when you pay for healthcare, like Obama's plan, like when I like looked at it myself for New York State, I was like, this sucks for me because the amount of money you are paying for the catastrophic plan, which basically means if you're hit by a bus, after you pay $6,000 into your hospital bills, that's when your insurance will kick in. Your deductible is $6,000. So you're hit by a fucking bus, you pay $6,000, then your insurance starts stepping in to help you, which means you're still going to incur charges past the $6,000, but you have to pay $6,000 first. So it means like, and it's useless unless you're hit by a fucking bus. Then the next plan after that is like bronze, and they go up in the month. So the catastrophic plan was $170 a month. So that means I'm paying $170 every month in case I have some disaster happen to me.
Yeah.
After I pay $6,000, after paying that $170 every month, like I'm never going to spend $6,000 a year on my medical bills as a healthy person. So the fact that I was being forced in some ways to pick a plan that ultimately I couldn't afford and was barely using was really challenging for me. I was like, I can't afford $170 a month on what I'm making, but I'm being forced to do it, and it doesn't even help me. Like
I can't get any benefit unless I pay $6,000 up front.
Yeah, like I can't actually go to the doctor right now and still not be paying out of pocket. So I was like, this sucks. And so I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm not for this. So I still don't even know how it works, but I was like thrilled when Trump like eliminated that. Like everybody was upset and like I think we should have universal health care and whatever for everybody that's affordable, but that was not personally affordable for me.
Yeah.
That fucking blew. That ruined me for a little bit.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
It is. It's so complex over there.
Yeah, it was trash.
Like, yeah.
I got very angry.
You got very angry?
Which is weird because I'm like technically speaking I'm liberal, you know, but I was like this plan is not good for me.
I mean, that's the thing here that we kind of debate is like to become a republic. And the thing that's difficult about it is I think ideologically everyone's like, yes, being a republic, great. We don't need to be the Commonwealth anymore. Awesome. And it's like, what plan should we have? How should we structure the government as a republic? And everyone's like, fuck, it's not good.
Whatever. Yeah.
So it's like, it's like universal healthcare. It's like, you guys, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
Do what?
Like
live?
implement it. Implement universal
how to do
healthcare.
it.
I don't know.
I don't know how to do it either. And like, I guess I've just like,
It's so far, you know, like here it's just been going the whole time and it costs more, but like it's a little bit more and it's spread out and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how it works. I basically just try to not think about it.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I'm very focused on me. So I'm just like, you know, like I probably should see a dentist, but like I go to Planned Parenthood once a year. Mm-hmm. I get barely a physical. Every couple of years I get a pap smear.
Sure.
They load me up on birth control and then that's kind of my thing.
You're on your way.
If something's wrong, if something's ever been wrong, I'm just sort of like, well, we're going to have ginger tea and like I had the flu and that was super scary, but then it went away.
Can you go to Canada? What's the deal with like
I have no
us
idea.
and Canada and the UK? I'm sure if you went into you get travel insurance, I guess.
I had to buy it to come here.
Yeah.
Which is the only time I've ever bought it.
Yeah, because like then you can be fine. Maybe that's the system. You know, get travel insurance, have a trip planned if you're unwell, and just make it to the trip. And then
so when you start feeling a little sniffle,
get your travel insurance booked in.
Plan a fucking trip.
Exactly.
Plan a vacation.
Just get across Australia, the UK,
and drag yourself across a border.
Yeah, and then be like, I really need to go to hospital now. It's like, what are you in Australia for? That would be a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, somebody was telling me Valium's cheap here, and I was like, oh, should I book an appointment? But they were like, you're gonna have to see a doctor a few times. I was like, never mind.
Yeah. No, you can. You can definitely lie to your doctor to get Valium here.
Yeah.
It's like
Fun.
it's like all the stuff's like free, dude.
Oh wow.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're an American lady.
Yeah.
You're West Coast, Best Coast, then you've gone East Coast.
Well, I'm mostly East Coast. Really.
So like your adult life has been East Coast.
Yeah,
essentially.
I've been in New York, I guess, like 14 years.
Okay.
Maybe 15, something like that.
And do you think there's like is it like a defining different? Obviously, like climate wise, and if you go to LA and New York, you're like these are very different places.
Yes. Yeah.
These are very different vibes.
Yeah.
Like, would it be fair to say like LA is like a more like Latin vibe and like New York's like, I don't know what New York's vibe is. There's like there's so much.
I mean, there's more Mexican food in LA.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
pretty much all I got.
Yeah, it's
closer.
Because it's near Mexico.
Of course, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like the weather. It's like sunshine and like, movie industry, glossy, like Hollywood. You know?
And they're hot.
Yeah, they're all there.
But
They all want to be
like
hot.
New York, they're hot as well.
They're hot, but we're hot in like I think a different way.
Don't have a gym membership in
Yeah,
New York.
like we do, but we don't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like we're like, who's talking about this shit?
No, because was that noticeable? Because that was genuinely when I went to the UK, when I went to England, I was like, these people look terrible.
Yeah.
They're gross as a group, almost across the board.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyone who's hot is an immigrant. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, and then I came back here and I was like, man, I need to put in some work, you know?
Right.
I've come back. I went to the gym a few times. I got my teeth done a little bit. I was like, fuck, man, just to fit back in.
No.
In the UK, I was an Adonis.
I was right. I got fat in the UK, and I know I'm not fat, but like for me,
You put on a bit.
yeah, because like I guess I don't know. I'm used to running around a lot, and like just one thing I noticed about spots. Like in New York, it was like I was working a day job, then I'm doing spots and I'm doing podcasts and I'm running around constantly. So it's like I'm in motion always. Like I'm always doing over 15,000 steps.
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
So then it's like when I got to London and it's like not only
winter, we should just clarify.
Yeah, January, February.
Yeah.
Less spots to be had, generally speaking.
And not multiple in a night either. You
Right,
get there
yeah,
and
which
you go
is-
home.
Yeah, which is like so that we've already like cut the rate that I'm used to like working in half.
And then the food.
And then the food, something about the food didn't sit right with me. And I'm kind of bummed out because I'm going back. I like it there. But like, I mean, the whole time I was there, whether we cooked or I ate out, I felt kind of sick and then would be often constipated and then like a total plane crash in the bathroom at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Like avocados were weird.
Yes, the avocados in the UK are fucked, and I don't know why. They're the wrong texture. They're the wrong outside color. They're the wrong.
Everything is weird. And like the food is weird. Like it's weird because like what I noticed here, what I'm going to say about Australia, I would say in terms of quality and bang for my buck, this is the country.
The best, right?
Oh my God.
It's unbelievable.
I'm loving it.
It's
I'm
so
loving
cheap.
It. Like it's cheap, and I feel like when I'm eating, I'm like, this is. I feel like I'm eating good food. Like
Yeah.
I feel good when I'm eating it.
Even the one thing, even in the UK, like even the disgusting food is more disgusting.
Yeah.
Like here, you can have like a late night kebab, and it'll be like not great for you, obviously, but you'll
Yeah.
wake up and you'll be okay. In the
Yeah,
UK, it's like
and in
2 days to
America.
walk it off. You know?
Yeah, and like expensive, so
Yeah.
I'm paying more to feel like shit. I mean, I had McDonald's over there. I didn't poop for 4 days. It was really fucked up. Like, and I never eat McDonald's, but we had one right outside one of our windows.
Yeah.
Like, we were staying in Canning Town. Mistake.
Canning
Yeah,
Town.
exactly. That's
Where is
whatever-
Canning Town?
I don't fucking know.
Give me a quadrant. Give me a bit of London.
It was
North,
okay
south, east, west,
on the way to Essex.
east. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've heard Essex East.
Yeah, fucking ugh. And so we were staring at a McDonald's. So one night we just did it. We were like, "Fuck it, we're hungry."
Oh, it's such a horrible decision. It's so much
Problem.
worse than you think it could ever be.
It really is. And like, so yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do because like, even when we cook at home, you know, which in theory is supposed to be the healthiest,
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel good.
No,
So
the
I don't
ingredients
know.
are worse. Did you just shop at like Tesco's and
Yeah.
Sainsbury's and stuff? The ingredients are worse. That's what it is.
Where do you shop then?
You got to go to the fucking hipster, douchey grocery stores. Or you can
And
go
then
to
spend
the
more.
Asian street places. They're pretty good. Like that, you know, where they have like the food in like the bowls for £1 out the front. They're not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
it's like it's a head fuck because like New York, I assume like you'd be dodging some delis and stuff like that in terms of like where you buy things,
It's
but generally
weird.
the quality
Yeah.
is high.
Well, incidentally, so what I noticed moving from California to New York
Mm-hmm.
was I saw the quality, like when I got to New York City, it would drop.
Correct. I would assume
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Which, like, you know, so that was alarming to me. So then my new normal becomes like whatever New York is now. And with that said, I've now developed like an immunity to some degree. Like, I'll eat at any cart. I see the cart, I'm like, I'm eating at the cart. I'll eat the cart food. I go to bodegas. I eat at the hole in the wall places that look like you're gonna, you know, lose your life there, right? And like, I like that, you know.
No health insurance. Fucking daredevil shit.
Dude, I mean, it's weird. I feel like I'm building an immunity. Like,
Maybe that's why you got constipated in the UK because you've had diarrhea for the last 14 years.
Well, I was like wondering if maybe they just use less pesticides too or something, and maybe
They
I'm
would.
used
You guys
to.
use the most pesticides.
We do. So I was
think.
thinking maybe I'm just adjusting, but it's like now I'm in Australia. I'm like, no, I'm not adjusting. The food is good here in
Everything's
Australia.
fine.
It was fine in America. It's not good in the UK. I don't know what I'm going to do. They don't sell almond butter in the UK, which I had started to prefer to peanut butter.
Is that a big issue for you?
Well, I just it's like kind
Of all the
of
food things,
I
like,
was-
they don't sell almond butter in the UK, and I'm like, I did not think we were going.
I was like,
that
what's going
specific.
on? Yeah, well, because I became, you know, I've grown fond of it. Like
Yeah.
we have a place called Trader Joe's in America.
It's great.
You can get almond butter real cheap. I choose almond butter over peanut butter. There's no almond butter in the
You
UK.
gotta, because I was living in Shoreditch in London, which is like hipster,
Shortage.
like
Yeah.
kind of like your Williamsburg
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there
yeah.
you can get everything. Like
Yeah,
there
and I
are
think-
Whole Foods in London, but they're like very few and far between.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a
But
new.
it's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Like it hurts. Like it hurts to spend that
Yeah.
much on groceries.
And it's like not even like really great groceries.
no, it's like it's fine.
I'm probably gonna have my Instant Pot shipped over.
Instant Pot.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't know. I guess I mean, I don't want to just say it's an American thing, but there was an Amazon
It
deal.
sounds like an American thing.
Right. But it's this pot. And you can make anything in it. You can slow cook things, or you can like cook ribs in like 25 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like a weird pressure cooker. It's
Yes.
amazing. So you can do artichokes, you can make yogurt, you can do, and I love my Instant Pot because being that I'm a comic, you probably know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like sometimes you don't want to just eat trash. But you
Yeah.
don't have a lot of time. Like I don't have time to sit there and wait for something
This
to
sounds
happen.
like an infomercial, and your accent is perfect. for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But but I love the fucking thing. I love it. And so I'm thinking like I gotta have it sent over there because that'll help. Like you can cook meats faster, you know?
Yeah.
So instead of just eating sandwiches all the time, which is what I was kind of doing.
Yeah, you get trapped in that.
Yeah, I'm trapped. I was in
Like
a
the meal
trap.
deal sandwich? Like
Those,
that kind no.
but also then I just buy my own stuff. But then again, what's not good?
And it's
I'm like,
expensive too.
Yeah, it's
That's the
fuck-
thing that kills me about it. You're just like, you're spending this money and you're converting it to like your home currency and you're like, why the fuck am I spending this
well,
on this?
Australian money is worth basically monopoly money as
I
far
know,
as I'm
you must be
concerned.
psyched.
I have, psyched. I'm actually sort of like, I'm a little bummed because like, well, I had to pay. So I made a deal. Oh man, I made a business deal to come down here for 3 weeks before the festivals, which as a result, I had to pay extra money for an extra visa to be here for 3 weeks. I had to pay to get in the UK paperwork notarized. So if I started adding up the cost of those things, plus what I'm now making in Australian dollars, converting it over, I have not yet broken even.
Right, on the back end, it's not great.
So now I'm like, I should have not come here for 3 weeks. I just should have come here for the festivals. So I'm a little, and then
Yeah.
I'm paying a fee to somebody who's doing my bookings, which it's like,
Right, it's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing.
Oh my
and
goodness.
as you know, I'm staying in a place where there are more roaches than people, and
a bro house.
a bro house where
I think that's like a one thing about the UK and like New York and stuff. The houses aren't big enough for it to be like properly like heaps of dudes.
yeah. I mean, they can do it. They can do it there.
It's just
But-
even
I just feel like, at least in New York, I know how to escape it. Like in this situation, it's like I'm staying for free, very grateful, but I'm like, this is not my fucking scene, and I am too old.
Oh man, I just recently I found out too old for a couch. I can't do it no more.
Yeah, isn't
Staying
that
on a
weird?
couch, man. I'm just like, I'm 30. Like, nah.
Yeah.
You start living a couch life. You start thinking like maybe I should just Twitch stream
Yeah.
for a living.
Yeah.
This is what people on couches do. Like smoke bongs, no triathlons. Like it's a niche lifestyle.
It's so. I'm like, and it's so funny because like, my brand is like, ew girl, you nasty. And it's like, yeah, I am that. But like, I have standards. You know what I mean? Like I might be disgusting, but I also like, I've got a lot of class. Like,
Yeah, I'm being nasty on a bed with sheets. Like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
different.
yeah. Like it's weird. My apartment in New York, like it's beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? The interior decorating is incredible. Like when I show people pictures of my apartment, they're like, no. And I'm like, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I did that.
I want to be in a nice place.
I like to be filthy and outrageous outside and then come home to an adult situation.
Yeah. Oh man, the adult situation is awesome.
It feels so good.
It feels so good. Well, it's gonna like the UK. How did that come about? Because like Americans, you don't travel much,
Right. No, we
as
don't.
a group.
Yeah.
We kind of got it all here, which I get. You're kind of like
Yeah.
a food court in terms of experiences. It's like all the
Right.
meals are here. They're just kind of watered down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and in New York, then you really have it all.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially like as a comedian, there's like you don't need to chase the career
right
elsewhere.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
Because with the UK, like generally, I've interviewed a lot of people about why they went there, and it's either professional or love. Very few people just want to change a scene or heard good things, or like anything like that. It's one of those two things.
well, it's kind of, okay. So mine's very exciting. Then,
Yes.
Okay. So I went to the Fringe where you and I passed each other but never met
Yes.
properly, and my goal was to just get better at comedy. I was like, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do an hour. I'll get better at comedy.
It's happening more and more. Americans doing Edinburgh Fringe, which is great.
Is it? I don't love it. I
You
mean,
don't like it. You
it's
want
funny.
it to be special. You want to be the only one.
It's just, no, it's silly because it's like, I've seen some New York comics who are going this year and they're all perfectly nice, but like, it's kind of, after I had that experience, I'm kind of like, I don't want the bad ones ruining this. Do you know what I mean? Because there's bad apples everywhere,
That's so funny.
Is it ridiculous?
I'm one of the good apples.
Yeah,
What are all these
like
bad
as
apples doing
if-
on my tree?
Exactly. Like as if I have claim on a whole festival,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous that I've done once,
I mean, very American again.
I
Just
know,
so you know,
seriously.
one
Me,
flag,
me,
the
me.
moon is ours.
Well, it's like, like I heard somebody's coming down from Melbourne that I know who
Yeah.
I like and enjoy, and I'm like, I'm like, but I was in that, and it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But I did the Fringe, and it ended up really being like kind of like just even meeting comics from all over. Like, they breeze through New York, but we don't give a fuck. I don't know if you noticed that when you're there. For the most part, We kind of do, but we also don't care. We're like, so you did what?
I mean,
Where?
People are coming all the time, and
Yeah.
like you guys have your own hierarchy of credits and
Yeah,
experiences.
it's-
So like, why would you care if I'm
Yeah.
like, I got a thing on Amazon Prime, and they're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, fair enough.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I started hearing like, not only was I like having a good fringe, and I ended up getting like reviewed well, and enjoying myself and whatever, and like finding audiences sort of liked me in a different way. And
Yeah, you said this that you thought your comedy was better received in the
yeah,
UK.
yeah,
Because like your style of comedy quite dark.
yeah. I guess that's what they say.
A little bit gross out, a little bit of
Yeah,
that.
I guess
I'm just, sorry, just to give them some context.
Yeah.
But I would say, honestly, any kind of comedy is received better in the UK than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe like it's like an American kind of like big kind of act, kind of
Yeah.
like high status thing that maybe can only go in the States.
Yeah, I mean, I know somebody was talking to me about how an American comic was at like Top Secret and did that kind of thing that some American comics do, where they're like, their attitude is very like, I'm leaning, I don't really need to be here, I don't really need you, I don't really want to be here. It's too casual.
I mean, I do a fair bit of that. Let's just be
Do
honest.
you? I don't know. I
I
haven't-
lean on that Top Secret wall like a champion.
Oh, do you really?
I'm not standing up straight.
Oh, I don't know. No, but there's like an American vibe of sort of like,
But they wouldn't like that because it's American, and they'd be
And maybe
fine with
that's
it because
what it
I'm
is.
Australian.
That-
in the UK, they'd be like,
Yeah.
Australian, you can't think you're possibly above us. You're part of the
Yeah,
Commonwealth.
yeah, right.
America, you fucking dog. Like, yeah.
yeah, because I see that in America, and sometimes I'm like, you haven't sold out a stadium yet. I don't know why you're acting like that. Why are you sitting? Like,
Yeah, sure.
But it went well, and so also just to like throw this in there, like on the very last night. So it's like, you know people throughout the festival, and like there was an Irish comic who I was like, oh, that's just some like hot drunk Irish guy, like kind of an idiot. And I was like, wow, they just let anybody into these festivals, don't they? Like this guy's not even funny. And like on the last night, he had like started chatting me up like 2 days before the last day, even though I'd seen him frequently.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna go. It'd be novel. I'm gonna go fuck that guy. I'll fuck an Irish guy. There's an ocean. I normally don't fuck with comics. I was like, there's an ocean. No one will know. It's international.
Yeah.
No big deal. So I went and did that.
It's last night.
Last night.
No
It was-
consequences.
Like I had to leave his apartment and run home and pack. I almost missed my flight. Like it was like that last night, And so like that happened, and then I get back to New York, and it's pretty much like a shell shock to arrive back in New York City from like the Edinburgh Fringe. It's hard to describe. Like you get off a plane, there are people everywhere. It's summer, and you're like, this fucking sucks. Like this immediately sucks.
Yeah.
And then you start going back to the New York comedy scene, and it's exactly the same. It's fucking horrible. You've been running an hour every night for a month where people are like, hooray. I got good reviews. People are like, good job.
Yeah,
People.
there's people there. They're there to see the show. They give you money for
Yeah.
it. They have a nice time.
Yeah, and you're running real time. And other comics, I feel like, I don't know if it's just the nature of the Fringe, but like, I found people would be like, you know what, you're great. Which is not things people are really doing in New York unless they think you can get them something.
Yeah, because they've seen you for the first time. They're kind
Yeah.
of like welcoming you. It's like, oh man, that was a great set. Like where you're new.
Yeah.
You're fun. Like
Right.
that was what I had, and so I lived there. And then you kind of know everybody.
And then
it's like, oh, it's just Dan. Like, but they're still nice.
Right,
But
right.
like a new person is exciting.
Yeah, and it just, so I was finding it hard to reacclimate back into like just what New York comedy is. Now it's like 4 people and they don't give a fuck, and you're sitting there and starting to suck dick of people again, like being like, can I have 5 minutes on your show, please?
Yeah.
And I was like, this sucks. And I had met so many people at the Fringe
Yeah.
who like essentially were describing to me how they tour festivals or go to other countries and this and that and the other, and find that they're making a living doing comedy. And now I'm back in New York City, re-entering my job at a sex dungeon, and you know what I mean, and trying to get 5 minutes for free.
Sorry, it's much funnier now that it's a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Before I was like, you can work in a sex dungeon. I don't really care. Now it's just like I have to just start going back to the dungeon.
Yeah. When I was a manager, I didn't do any of the stuff, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I'm
like
so-
it's just funny because Edinburgh, you were probably performing in a
In a
dungeon
yeah,
half the
yeah.
time, and now you're at the sex dungeon. You're like,
Right.
this is degrading.
Yeah.
I like my nice Scottish dungeons.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I was just like, this stinks. And it's like, nobody gives a shit about Edinburgh, really, in New York, like, at all. And
again, you got your own credits. It's a different, they can't even conceptualize it. I couldn't conceptualize it till I went there for the first time.
Yeah.
And our festivals are very similar.
Yeah.
But like Edinburgh, it's like, it's all day.
Yeah.
That's it's everything for like a month.
Yeah.
And you're just like, holy shit.
Well, that's like my dream. I mean, that's what New York is, except it's fun. It's at a festival. Like, I found it to be the festival to be New York, but fun, and so I was feeling like shit. And I was still chatting with this Irish guy, Irish comic, which like was weird for me. I'm very like career oriented. I have no desire. Like, I was at a point where it's like, it would be nice to find somebody, but I don't need the wrong thing,
right?
Anymore.
You're quite happy just on your own.
Yeah, I mean, as happy as you're gonna be. Like, it's lonely sometimes, but I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't need the thing unless it's really the thing.
Sure.
And that's a lot to expect out of anybody, right? Being like, owe it to you. I know it, which is, so it's crazy, but we were still chatting. Long story long, he ended up coming to visit.
He visited you.
Huh?
He visited you. Classic Irish person coming to America.
I know, right?
Love that.
Looking for a green card. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they love that.
Just a visa. But it was kind of crazy because we really hadn't talked a lot during the festival.
It was like one night, essentially.
Yeah. And so the fact that he booked 9 days to stay in my apartment, I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. Like, we both agreed on
9 days.
I know, right? Everybody's like,
just you? Is there anyone else in this apartment?
I have a roommate so it's my apartment. I rent the room out. He's a comic. So I was like, this is happening. Like, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. That's a lot. 9. Did you have any other friends in New York? Did you have any get out of jails?
No, and that's the thing. That's what people were saying. They were like, what do you say to me? And I was like, oh, I guess that is weird, but it felt fine. So basically, long story short, or long, whatever, he came there and we were like, I mean, we're in love. It's gross. I hate talking about it.
Why?
Because,
it's good.
Well,
it's nice.
I'm a Capricorn. I don't like emotions, but like I have so many of them.
That was such an American sentence. It freaked me out.
I'm
I'm a Capricorn. I don't like emotions. Anyway, that was something normal to say. Back in. I'm like, all right, great, perfect.
But it was crazy. It was like we were just like, you're like the person. And I've never had anything like that. You know what I mean? I've had relationships where I thought I was like really in love or this or that. And, but I'm just like the ebb and flow. It's like, it feels like we've known each other forever.
And where did this Irish man live?
He's from Cork, Ireland, but he has actually lived in Melbourne and he started comedy in Canada. And
this guy's so fucking Irish.
Yeah, it's super
just
Irish.
Like he was in Australia for a bit, then he was in Canada for a bit. Now is he settled in England?
Well, here's what's happened. So basically, he was visiting, and we were kind of like, we don't know, what's going to happen. Also, just a side note, there was like not a girlfriend, but another woman, and I won't even get into that now. It's out of control. It's the craziest thing one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me, and that's saying a lot considering I've already mentioned Sex Dungeon and Reno in this podcast.
It's true.
Yeah, but we were like, we don't really know what's going to happen here. We don't really have a plan. I guess I'll see you at the Fringe. But like when we realized we were like in love, he left to go to the airport. That day, I had this other side job that was kind of the one really making me money. And I had the Sex Dungeon, but it seemed like my manager or my owner was really pissed at me. Like, and the day the Irish dude, my now boyfriend, he's been Irish guy forever. Just like people know
you get used to it. Yeah.
An Irish guy.
Yeah.
The day he left, like within hours of him leaving, have you heard of Hot Ones?
The thing we eat wings and you talk.
Where people eat the wings and they do the game show.
Oh, I don't know if it's a game show. Yeah, sure. But okay. It's a YouTube channel.
Yeah, something like that. And I guess it's also on TV. Well,
it's on TV. Oh.
I think so because I was doing a hot sauce. So I was doing like a focus group.
Yeah.
I was part of the people. We ran through the whole thing trying the hot sauces.
Yeah.
So I went to do that. So I'm like super sad about this dude leaving, but I get to like cry because of the hot sauce, right? And within like an hour of that being over, I was hanging out with another comic who I'd met at the Fringe, who's American, who had been living in London, who is now living in New Jersey where he's from.
Sure.
And my job messaged me, we're not going to be needing you like after December.
The money job.
The money job.
Not the dungeon.
Not the dungeon. And I was like looking at this comic and I was like, man, this dude I like just left, or that I love, like we're in love, he just left. I've been miserable in New York. I don't even want to be here. What am I supposed to do? Like find another job to support myself in a city I don't feel like being in anymore. I'm not really happy right now. And the comic was like, well, the Irish guy had been moving to London in January. So the comic was like, look, what, I'll rent your room. Why don't you just go to London? What's keeping you here? And I was like, what is keeping me here? So I messaged the Irish guy and I was like, look, this just happened. He was like, look, you want to go do stand-up in London? I'm going. I'll do it with you. And I was like, fuck it. Let's do it. So we did. So it's both career and love.
I was going to say.
Both.
Always right.
Isn't that fun?
Never fails. That is fun.
No, it really is.
And you had a great time.
Yeah, like we lived together. So, which is like out of control, right? Because in theory, we barely know each other. It was the most, it feels like, this is the best compliment I can give another person. Being with him is like being alone by myself.
I see.
Do you know what I mean?
He's quiet.
Yeah. it's just, it feels so, and
that's awesome. But like when you went to London, did it obviously felt foreign for you.
Yeah.
Did it feel foreign for him? Were you guys two foreigners together, or did he seem like a local?
Well, he lived there once, like 10 years ago or a while ago. But for him, he also like was constipated by the food, So
that's how you know you're new to London.
I know. And also just, shameless plug. We started recording a podcast there called This American Irish Life, where we're basically covering this like thing because he's going to be flying to Australia to do Melbourne too.
Sure.
So we're just kind of like now flying all over the world, doing stand-up and experiencing what stand-up is like in all these different places.
Yeah.
While living together in these countries, most of it, like he's been to, but I haven't. So of course I'm like, what's the deal with the carpeted trains? Why don't they smell like piss? Like
right, they're like fresh-eyed. And he's like, oh, this is a whole thing. I'll explain it to you. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, all that information will be in the liner notes for this episode, obviously, if you want to check out more of Katharyn's stuff. But I just wanted to get into, the UK thing. Was there anything that really surprised you about it as a place? Like, because Edinburgh is like its own thing. Like, that's a representative of anything.
Right,
But London, I think, is like, especially where you were living, which seemed little out of the center.
Well, Canning Town sucked. We then moved to Bethnal Green, which we liked much better.
Bethnal Green, that's just next to Shoreditch. Love Bethnal Green.
Yeah, Bethnal Green was cool, and I think it would be great to find like a more permanent like situation somewhere around there. The things that I can say, a few things freaked me out about the scene.
Great, bring it on.
But also, can you just like give my love story more of a? It was great, right? Isn't it nice?
Sorry.
You know what it is? I get so like. I'm very weird. I can talk about anything, but like those feelings are very
like emotions.
Yeah,
like how you feel about stuff.
Well, about a person. I've always been such an independent person that it's like any type of,
So you want the love story to be the focus?
No. I just want you to say, isn't that? I want you to be like, oh, how wonderful, like my mom did.
That is very exciting. I like that you've moved somewhere like together, because I think in a relationship the tricky one is when like one of you. You move to a place.
Yeah.
One of you's from the place.
Yeah.
And the other one of you moved to the place.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys, neither of you are from the place.
I mean, I have had so many dudes move from California to be my boyfriend in New York, and it train wreck every time.
Really?
Yeah. And they weren't like right for me anyway. But like, moving for a person.
It's tricky.
This was like kind of fun because it was able to be a trial. Like it was sort of like there was no, we were staying in Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I was always coming to Australia, so it was like, look. Just in case this isn't what we thought it was. And it only proved to be better than what we thought it was.
Yeah, which is awesome.
So
it's good. It's good that you took the chance, though, I think.
And it was crazy. I mean, it was like a crazy thing, especially with this girl writing me emails. I can't even get into it, but it was nuts.
This is on your podcast, I assume.
We're going to start talking about it because it was months of, I don't even know, being somebody's human diary. It was really something else. But
being somebody's human diary.
It was crazy. That crazy.
Is terrifying.
Yeah, it really was. Every time my email went off, I was like, it felt like a horror movie. But it was nuts. And all sent to my comedy email, yougirlyouNasty@gmail.com.
Lovely.
Like, that's a lot of feelings for this email address.
I'm just imagining like your email like tone is the Law and Order SVU. Dun, dun, and you're just like getting that every time.
That's what it felt like, But
all right, give me these.
Things.
These are a lot of people listen to British and they love to hear about the weird shit. About their country.
Well, okay, it's not. Maybe it's not weird shit about the comedy scene.
About the comedy scene.
Or what do you want? You weird shit about the country,
life stuff, like just like day to day. Like one of the things that I forgot that I found insane was the light switches in the bathrooms are outside in the UK. Or they got a pull down string.
Oh no!
And I'm like,
we have some stuff like that in America.
Yeah.
Okay, Well, I'll just say, I mean, my favorite drugs are the cheapest over there. That's,
Yeah, of course. The price
yeah.
of cocaine is very cheap.
Well,
no.
cocaine is more expensive in the UK than it is in America. But I'm a fan of ketamine and MDMA.
Uh-huh.
Cheaper there than in America.
So, right, you were just like, this is very exciting.
Very exciting. And plus, Valium's just on the menu, too. I was like, well, don't mind if I do, you know? Because like, I don't drink, but I do like drugs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a very, like, modern stance, I think, which I'm for.
It's just within the last year. I'm almost at a year not drinking, but it's not for any reason. Every time somebody's like, I'm not drinking, you're like, what happened to you?
That's something you need to clarify in the UK and Australia, because we will assume something terrible has happened.
Yeah, and I met like my guys, like a couple of his cousins who are Irish.
Yeah.
And before the night got started, like right at the beginning of the night, they were looking at me and they were like, so is water your drink of choice? And, you know, they were looking at me like I was a fucking wild animal.
Yeah.
And then I was like I could see that they thought, they weren't sure if I was like ready to have fun. And I'm like, no, I'm fun. Like I just don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that would bother all of us as a group. You guys are the one country I think that's been able to deal with people who don't drink.
Yeah. It's
like,
just,
I reckon more Americans don't drink per capita.
I mean, I look, 15 years. I had 15 good years of drinking.
Oh,
like,
mate, I've always considered giving up, but it just seems so insane. Like, I can't conceptualize that yet in my life.
It wasn't.
I hope to at some point.
Well, that was the thing. It wasn't really like I'm giving this up. I was going to do 30 days before Edinburgh just because I was like, man, I'm getting paid in drink tickets. Now I'm drunk on Tuesday for no reason.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really having fun. It was not really an active choice to have fun.
It's just like I may as well get paid for this gig.
Yeah. And now I'm like drunk, you know, and I'm like not enjoying myself. And then what I would find is like being hungover. I'm getting all this stage time, but I can't connect because like I drink like a job, you know? Like, yeah. Like it would be like vodka full.
It's
like,
on.
Because if I knew the bartender then forget it. Now I'm like, you know?
Do you find that weird here that like no one overpours? Like that's
I don't notice because I don't order.
Oh, you don't drink?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's like a very weird. I remember in the States, I just like I get these drinks and I'd be like, there's so much alcohol in this. And they'd be like, yeah, dude, you're welcome. And I'm just kind of like, oh, but now I don't know. I don't know how many of these I can have. You know what I mean?
Oh, and that's the thing.
Like, it's like 1.5 and you're like, fucked. Whereas like here, like you have like 10 and you're fine.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like,
I would have as many of those as I fucking felt like, you know? and that's where I was, you know?
Yeah.
And because I've just been drinking forever, you know? And
of course.
I mean, I started when I was 14 and we were animals, you know? And so I just quit. I was like, I'll do 30 days. And after 3 weeks, after experiencing the rage I felt for the first 2 weeks, like at everything, just somebody was breathing. I was like, stop it, you know? It was bad. 3 weeks in, I just felt like done. I was like, I think I'm just done. Like it was a feeling and it's kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, that's great.
And so it's like people will be like, do you want to drink? And I'm like, oh, I don't drink. They're like, oh my God, and I'm like, no, it's not even like that. Like I can be around alcohol. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not triggered.
I'm just good.
If I want to drink, I'll have a drink. Like that's where I'm at, you know?
But it just hasn't happened yet.
I just don't feel like it. And I love drugs. And I find that I'm saving all this money. So that's also thrilling to me. Like now.
Oh man, the amount of money you'd save. My God.
I'm telling you. And I'm spending it on drugs, you know?
I'm glad you're not saving it.
No. Why would I do something like that? Responsible? No. I'm actually very responsible. But so drugs are cheaper there. What else did I find interesting? I don't know. Yeah, the hanging of the clothes.
The clothes horse, like in the house. What do you guys do in New York? You take it to a laundromat and you dry.
Do a laundromat. Because I'm, you know, I'm this person. I bought portable washer and dryer, so I have that in my apartment in New York.
Portable.
Yeah. So when I tell people I have a washer and dryer, people are like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "That's right."
But what do you mean portable? Is it you don't move it around?
Well, they're small enough to be moved. So actually, so like the washer hooks into the sink, like the kitchen sink. So the way I have it set up, I have a nice space for everything, right?
Yeah.
Because again, interior design.
But it's like there's like a washing machine in your kitchen.
Yep, and it's like, you know,
like instead of like a dishwasher, like under the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use a dishwasher in New York, but no, it's like it stands next to my sink. It's about table height. Let's call it like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It fits like 3 cubic meters or something. I don't know. You can fit like a comforter.
Sure.
At most, right?
Yeah.
At once. Like so, it's like that size, right?
Sure. And then is it a dryer as well?
And then the dryer, I built a shelf. It's like a box. So my dryer sits on the shelf above the washer. You can fit that in there. Mm-hmm. But my lease. So when I moved in, I had this shit in Brooklyn. So when I moved back to Manhattan,
Yeah.
I saw in my lease, it's like no washer, no dryer, which means like the hookups, right?
That's on
But
a
I
lease.
also think, it meant portable. So I snuck that shit in. So now this is part of this process. So I told my roommate, and so now I finally live with a roommate who like I can do this with. I'm like, so whenever the landlord has to come in or whenever the super has to come in, we have to move the washer and dryer into my room. So anytime we needed a thing like done, like we had a leak in our bathroom, I was like, the washer and dryer's got to be. And I was like, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we could risk it. We could risk it that they're not going to come in the kitchen or near the kitchen and see that. But if they do, and we lose this, I don't even know where the laundromat is in this neighborhood. I was like, you need to think about so.
This is very important. I like that you're hiding it like a cat.
No, right?
Like, put all the toys away. What's that detergent doing here? Get it out of here.
Right? That's what I mean. I'm like, I know it feels like a lot and it feels like, oh, it's inconvenient to move it, but it's like the inconvenience of having to go do our laundry elsewhere is more. And like there's drop-off places, and I remember thinking that was super novel. Right when I moved to New York, I was like, oh, I'll just drop off my laundry and somebody folds it. But now I'm like, fuck it, I want to do laundry at home in the middle of the night. That's when I want to do my laundry. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, because we had one but no dryer. I think like you guys love a dryer.
I love a dryer.
Yeah, because here it dries very quickly.
I'm about to touch your clothes, but
it's okay.
But clothes are. I feel like they get stiff when you let them just hang out.
So you want to dry? Do you ever hang? Yeah, you ever use the Hills hoist? You see the Hills hoist in the backyard?
No, I didn't see that.
Like the clothesline that's like the square and like it goes up.
No,
Oh my
I'll put it
goodness!
this way.
All right, we're getting a photo for the episode. That's going to be us in front of the Hills hoist.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, it's gonna blow your mind. It's an Australian invention.
Yeah.
We invented it. Yeah, it's a
I don't
big
even know
thing.
what that is.
That's like a classic Australian. Oh man, you're gonna be very excited.
I hang stuff sometimes, but that's on my own volition.
Okay, but generally drying. You're talking like
Yeah.
90% of things are getting dry.
Drying.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at that.
Look, we've done pretty well. We've gone an hour and a half. So I think we gotta wrap it up. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For coming on.
This was fun.
You enjoyed yourself. Congratulations on your love.
Thank you. No, see, look at that. I was like waiting for someone to be happy for me.
She's like, don't worry, they'll message in. They'll tag you. It'll be
Yeah.
good. They'll be like, man, it's fucking we're pumped for that. Like,
Yeah.
honestly. Do you want to? We got the majority of people are in the UK, but there are some people in Australia. Please let them know where to see you because you're Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yes. I'm going to be in the Melbourne Comedy Festival. I'm doing a split show. I put everything on my website. I feel like
Yes.
but I'll just say it. I'm doing a split show. It's called Hot Garbage.
Hot Garbage.
Yep, we
Nice.
named it before the country was on fire. I'm
Correct.
just going to say that. And then I immediately regretted it when I heard about what was going on, but it was too late.
No one will connect the dots. It's all
Okay,
good.
except I just said it.
Yeah, these people will.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be in the Sydney Comedy Festival as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that show's called Ew Girl You Nasty. That's the name of my Instagram. That's
Yes.
the name of my show.
And the website as well.
ewgirlyounasty.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was spelled EW.
EW. Yeah, I don't even say it right. People are like, how do you spell that? And I'm like, EW.
No, I'm there. I have to find you after Thursday, so I'm on top of it.
Yeah, but all the dates and times for everything I'm doing is like on my calendar there.
On the calendar on
Yeah.
the website. That's
Yeah.
the best place to find you.
That's
and
the best place.
plug This American Irish Life.
This American Irish Life. I also
Yes.
have another podcast with a comic in America. We're still recording remotely, so that's fun, called Somewhat Scientific.
Somewhat Scientific.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's fun. But the new one is This American Irish Life, and it's very exciting. You know, that's it. For
All right,
me,
beautiful,
at least.
perfect. All right, well, Katharyn Henson, the way that we finish every episode, is you have to say "Cheers, mate."
Okay.
The best you can. Just take your time with it. Have
But
fun,
in my own accent.
or whatever you like.
It's okay. What? Oh, I look at how nervous I got.
I know, that
this
was
is why
weird.
I can't be an actress. I get so. Can I just tell you? I also get nervous if I have to do the announcement at the beginning of a show in a God mic.
Oh,
You know?
really?
Yeah.
Please welcome to the stage.
Or no? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I
my
get so
goodness.
nervous. I get like, you know.
Dude, I get requested for that. People like my bringer.
I hate doing it. So the fact it's like you're telling me to do something, I'm just like,
you gotta be fine. I've got
right.
nothing but faith in you.
yep. 1, 2, 3. Cheers, mate.
That was absolutely beautiful. All right, Katharyn Henson, pleasure. Bye.
And I feel like vomiting, great clenching, and I can't squeeze till I'm free and empty of all these fears that drove you.
All right, that was my chat with Katharyn, and I gotta say, I'm very relieved that Reno is exactly as I pictured as far as she's concerned. I love that, in this age of toilet paper buying and the loo roll, she's talking about being constipated in the UK. That is not something I'd heard previously, but just I thought the quality of UK food, like, yeah, it's less healthy, and yes, it is expensive and it doesn't taste as good, but I never thought there was actually a proper physical outcome to that. And I'm glad that in her experience, she's just like, I went over there, I love the place, but goddamn, I did not need a toilet nearly often enough. Definitely just a part of the experience that I had forgotten about. But yeah, it was so nice to talk to her about like New York. I like that, you know, as she said, she fell perfectly into the reasons that people move to the UK. It's almost universal. It's like love or professionalism. No one goes like for their profession, you know, like no one's going to the UK for the weather. Like, I mean, I guess like if you go there like as a band, you're going there for your profession as well. Maybe like if you're a big music fan, I think like we talked to Sarah Bonetto, right? She was saying that, you know, she basically went to the UK for this love of music and then fell into other things and ended up, you know, she still lives there, mate. She's there like 10 years now, I think, over 10 years. But yeah, it's very interesting how that just seems to be the reason people immigrate. You know, it is love or it is your job, which is weird because I think different countries, obviously, as we've discussed on this podcast, different countries have so much more to offer in terms of culture and different things apart from just like a place to work or, you know, someone of that nationality. But yeah, Katharyn fell right into that. Really enjoyed chatting to her. As I said, get around her at Oogirl, You Nasty. That's her website, her Instagram. She doesn't really roll on Twitter, I don't think, but just follow her on that. If you enjoy the podcast, please take the time to jump on iTunes, give us a little 5-star review. I'm on the Australian iTunes store now, so I'm not geo-locked to the UK, getting some nice Australian reviews, which is cool. And as always, if you enjoyed me, you can find me at Dan Muggleton on Twitter and Instagram, or get around my YouTube channel where I'm putting out a lot of coronavirus appropriate content, by which I mean things you can enjoy on your own while self-isolating in your safe place. Lots of comedy on there. And of course, 3 Stripes, Part 3, the final part, that is coming out in just over a week. So get excited for that. And if you haven't checked out Part 1 and 2, they are on my YouTube as well for free. Because it's about time I gave you guys some stuff for free, right? Anyway, jerk offs, you're a goddamn pleasure. I will chat to you next week, hopefully, if booking podcast guests is something we can do during these difficult times. Until then, have a good one. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Cheers, mate.
Till I'm free and empty of all these fears that drove you away from me. So please don't be nice to me. Don't be kind. Don't force me to look back and see what I let go. 'Cause I don't